Hello Blizzard fans, this is FalconPaladin coming to you with yet another daily Blizzard upload. This is a game between VampyWorm and DoomDoser on Orbital Shipyard. Now I want to thank VampyWorm one more time for submitting this replay pack. And in the top right of the map we have the red Protoss player VampyWorm. And in the bottom left of the map we have the blue Terran player, henceforth known as the enemy, DoomDoser. VampyWorm asking if the Terran player is having problems with lurkers. DoomDoser only has seen them once. VampyWorm says he is lucky then, because apparently lurkers are really good against Protoss due to their bonus to armored. And Protoss players everywhere are hoping they get nerfed before the release, because that would make laddering really hard for them. As a Zerg player, I'm not sure I have much sympathy, but because VampyWorm submitted this replay pack, I will empathize with him on this matter and hope that lurkers get a little bit nerfed. Alright, so we're just scouting around, and we have a barracks coming up, we have a cyber core coming up, we have two gateways. Again, it looks like the adept opening is what VampyWorm is going for. It has to have two workers on each of these gas geysers. A pretty good tell. Here comes the cybernetics core immediately. An adept comes out. Adepts are super good in all matchups, especially against Terran though, because Marines just kind of get eaten up by them. What you need as a Terran to respond to them is Marauders. If you can get Marauders out, you're going to be in a much better spot. Also, a bunker is pretty good, because I don't think Adepts actually do extra damage against buildings, and so they just kind of have to whittle away at this bunker. So I like this play from DoomDoser. Actually walling off is a pretty great decision here. Now getting a factory, but the barracks can only make Marines. So we'll have to see how this actually works in what is coming out of these gateways, which are Adepts from VampyWorm. Go ahead and going to set up a forward pylon here. I have to assume that's what this probe is for. Mothership core coming as well. Let's go ahead and move on over. Just kind of set up shop here. Again, just containing. Again, like Walnut always says, you just kind of want to contain the Terran player if you can, recognizing, okay, there's a bunker there. That's not a position for me to be in, but if the Terran player tries to move out with those Marines, he's going to be in super big trouble, which is not something I want to, which is something I'd actually prefer to see. So he has DoomDoser kind of contained here on these two bases, which is not as effective as containing on one base, but again, a Nexus is already up at home for Vampy. It's 2 base to 2 base now, taking his third, recognizing, okay, there's no way Doom is going to go ahead and move out here, not with these Adepts on the field. This guy gets two-shotted if he... Yep, here we go. Bam, bam. 2 shots. Immediately dead. Dies on top of this grate, which is plates, technically. Looks kind of more like somebody left a sewer grate lying around. Either way, no big deal. More Adepts coming out. Mothership core here as well. Doom has to feel a little bit trapped. What is the answer going to be? Tanks, I think, is the answer. We do have a factory. We are making a tank out of it. And a tank should be able to shoo these guys away quite nicely because they are armored. Tanks do extra damage to armored units. And it's going to be able to chase away the Adepts, at least set up a perimeter they can't come in closer to, which is kind of the goal here right now. I don't know if you want to kill all of them or if you can, but yeah, plus versus armor, 25 damage. Adepts have, what, 90 plus 90, 180. So 2 shots, basically, from a tank is enough. Or, wait, no. Okay, not in siege mode. 25 damage. Okay, the answer is going to be a drop. So DoomDoser saying, alright, you set up at my front door. I'm going to load up in a medevac and head on out across the map here, taking a roundabout way so that you can't see me by these proxy pylons or anything streaming across the map here like this observer. And then I'm going to drop, what is it, 3 Marines and a tank in your base, and let's see you deal with that. Because the Mothership core is here. There's no photon overcharge available whatsoever to the Protoss defense, which is kind of a big deal. This drop is taking forever to get there, though. I feel like Vampy might actually have some time to kind of set up shop, get a little better defense out, just in case there is a drop coming his way. He has to know it's a possibility because Terrans do love to drop, especially with the boost ability on these medevacs, making them so much faster and so much more survivable. I don't know if that's a word or not. Observer sits up here, sees exactly what is going on. This Marine wants to go home, but he can't because the supply depot is up. Here comes the drop. Let's go ahead and follow this on in. Going to drop into the main of Vampy. And what's the response time going to be from Vampy? There's the tank setting up for the siege as we zoom out just a little bit. In siege mode, 50 damage, 2 armored units. Warp Prism comes in to what? Soak up damage from the Marines? Is that the plan here? I don't know. Either way, Stalkers try to get in, try to take down this tank. It's going to be very close, and does not manage to kill it because it gets picked up, but the Marines end up dead. And that's it. But that's actually enough to pull all the adepts back home. Doom did manage to actually break the siege on his front by dropping behind enemy lines, so well played by him. Units lost 4 Marines versus a Warp Prism and 4 Stalkers and a Probe, so I'd say that drop was pretty much worth it. You did manage to escape with your siege tank. It doesn't have very much health at all, but still, it is alive, and a live tank is better than a dead tank. Third base fully established by VampyWorm. We'll have to see if a command center is going to come out here or not from Doom. He needs one. There it is. There's the command center. Needs to drop it here, get that economy going. This forward pylon hasn't done much during this game. Both players just macroing up. There is a disruptor here, which is fantastic. Again, disruptors do great in all matchups as well. Here comes the disruptor drop as we move down just a little bit. I'm trying to use the arrows more to navigate instead of the mouse. I mean, I guess, let's see, like that versus this. I guess it's the same thing if you're careful with the mouse, but you can actually scroll a little bit too fast for the viewership if you use the mouse all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and try to use the follow option, try to use the arrow keys to make it a little bit more palatable for you guys who are watching at home. So again, thank you for supporting me as always. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, all /FalconPaladin. I do promise I try to post funny stuff to my Twitter and Facebook accounts, just not just the stuff that I post on YouTube, so it's a little bit different and hopefully entertaining. Here comes the disruptor moving right on in. Good response time, pulling those SCVs out immediately, only getting 3 kills. That's actually pretty great. Disruptors usually get anywhere from like 10 to 300 million kills when they do this. But here comes round number 2. Warp Prism interested in maybe trying to kill some SCVs down here at the natural, depending on where the army goes to respond to this. Army coming over here to the main, so you might want to drop over here in the natural. There is a Banshee. I don't think a Banshee can kill a disruptor before it activates its Purification Nova. I don't know. Wow, 4th base coming down from Vampy, feeling super confident that this pressure is actually keeping the Terran in his base. Activating Purification Nova, going to try to kill these Marines. Interesting kind of micro battle there. The Marines going up here, feinting back left, trying to avoid that Purification. Can't do it. They all die. The Terran player has got to be raging right now. DoomDoser is not pleased with things at all. A bit of a hidden 4th base here for Doom. A little bit away. It can be attacked very easily, but again, it is not easy to find either. So a bit of a gamble there. We'll have to see if it pays off for Doom in the long run. Missile turrets coming up in response to these drops. Doom is not a fan of them. He says, do not come back this way. There is missile turret here in 20 seconds. Not yet, though. And, man, Warp Prisms are fast. Look at this. Trying to chase all these guys down. And, yes, does manage to get a huge hit off. Now has 17 kills. A pickup by the Warp Prism. Escapes back away. And that is it. Man, what do you do against this? I guess you get Vikings. That is the answer to dealing with these drops. It is now 14 workers that have died. It's 73 to 29 workers for Vampy. Holy cow. That is just brutal right now. Another drop. Banshee is actually trying to even the score up. If they could actually get in here, they could kill a bunch of workers. There are no cannons or anything at all here. Purification Nova pops in again, gets 24 total kills now, and actually can survive a lot of damage from that tank. Doom says, owie, and the Purification Nova just about ready to go off again. About a couple more seconds here, but no, it gets destroyed by the Marines before it can happen because the Warp Prism actually died to these Vikings. Again, 27 to 73 Harvesters right now. Huge army here with Disruptors, with Stalkers, Mothership Core, Adepts. If he pushed out, I think he could win right now despite these tanks. We'll have to see what Vampy decides to do. These Banshees really need to get out and get something done because there are no cannons here. There's no Mothership Core. There's no anti-air whatsoever. Banshee could kill a ton of workers, but instead, perhaps the Banshees will be pulled back to home defense to defend against this attack. I don't know. This base really isn't doing anything at all. Over here, I guess there's a single worker. Banshee's coming in, actually doing a lot of damage. What's Vampy going to do about this? He decides to just go for it. Forget this. Purification Nova popping on up, hitting both these tanks and finishing them off. Well played, Disruptor. Stalkers at the front. DoomDoser going, owie. Good game, well played. VampyWorm with the all caps, GG. And that is it. VampyWorm is victorious. So I think we've learned something from Vampy's games, and it is this. Disruptor drops are incredible. I would not be surprised to see them nerfed a little bit as well, just like the Lurkers, because there are overpowered aspects of every race right now, I think. Terran maybe not so much. We did see some complaining about the Liberator from Railgun in an earlier game, but at the same time, perhaps not as strong as he thinks. Either way, thank you so much for watching. This has been FalconPaladin with yet another daily Blizzard upload. And again, Thank you so much for all those who submit replays. If you'd like to submit one, go ahead and hit me up. Go ahead and hit me up at FalconPaladin@gmail.com. So until next time, as always, you take care of yourself.